Hey guys, my name is Endigo, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about Visual Kei. And as you might know, I've done a few videos already on the topic of Visual Kei, which of course is the Japanese rock scene. And what I specifically more want to talk about is the fact that Visual Kei is kinda dead in the Western world. Now hold up, you might be thinking, well Endigo, you've already done a video on that called Visual Kei is dying, save Visual Kei. Yeah, that's true, and this is gonna be kind of a follow-up to that video, because since making that video a few months ago called Visual Kei is dying, or save Visual Kei, and spreading awareness about the hashtag Resurrect VK, a kind of a movement that's, I guess, going on about saving Visual Kei in the Western world, because Visual Kei is very, very dead outside of Japan. In fact, earlier today I went on YouTube and searched Visual Kei. I just wrote Visual Kei in the search bar on YouTube, and guess what? On the first page of search results, 2 of my videos came up, and one of them were the 4th hit, meaning one of my videos, specifically the one I did a few months ago called Save Visual Kei, was the 4th hit on Visual Kei. You can go try it right now, it's probably gonna show the same for you. While some people would say congratulations on making the first search page for Visual Kei and like, yeah, being a Visual Kei thing on YouTube, I'm rather kinda bummed out about this, if I'm being completely honest, because this, to me, if I can make it onto the first page of search results, and not just with 1 but 2 videos on Visual Kei, it doesn't feel that good. It's not a good sign for the scene at large. So when I did the last video a few months ago, I got a lot of people who wrote in the comments, such as maybe yourself if you're watching this, saying that you want to help the movement and help Visual Kei get back, and that makes me very happy. Nothing would make me happier than seeing the Visual Kei scene thrive like it almost did 10 years ago, but absolutely isn't anymore. That is really encouraging actually to me, and more than that, I got contacted by a couple of musicians from Europe and from America, some of whom I had heard about, some of whom I've never heard about, who wanted to like, hey, I exist, we exist, we're trying to do stuff, and that's really cool. And again, as I said in the last video, feel free to get in touch with me. I would love to talk with you if you are a musician, or if you're just interested in Visual Kei and want to like bring forth the movement, if you got your own Visual Kei band, or if you're practicing an instrument, or whatever, if you're just gonna open a Visual Kei CD shop, whatever. I'm curious. More interestingly to me though, I was contacted by several different Visual Kei websites and blogs and Visual Kei shops around the world who saw the video and was like, hey, this is a great thing, keep spreading the word, we don't want Visual Kei to die either. Now, as you know, I am the vocalist of Batar, and we are a heavily Visual Kei inspired band from Sweden who just yesterday, by the way, launched our new website, batar.com, so feel free to check that out. Shameless plug there in the middle of the video. But we would really love to hook up with more visual bands around the world, around Europe and the US, and try to do stuff together, touring or collaborations or whatever. So feel free to hit us up, info@batar.com. We are dying to work with all of you, if there's anybody out there. However, what I really want to get to in this video is a question that I myself was wondering for a long while before I went to Japan, and that is Visual Kei dead in Japan as well? I had heard from so many people, many of my friends, and people who were just into Visual Kei in general, and just random stuff I've been reading online on the internet, that Visual Kei is obviously kinda dead in Europe and the US, but it's also very dead in Japan, not to the same extent as over here or in the US, but it's pretty much dead. It's a small niche, and yeah, there's like a few bands and like no buzz. I did find this very hard to believe myself before going to Japan the first time fall last year. But I was like, yeah, so many people are saying it, so I guess it's true. Now, with that in mind, I'm just back from Japan, my 2nd trip there. Let me tell you, that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. Visual Kei is not dead in Japan, at the slightest. Look, I went to Japan first time in 2016. I don't know how it was back in 2012 or 2007 or 2001. It might have been way bigger back then, and I'm assuming it probably was. But going there the first time last year, and even going back a few weeks ago, it's around, trust me. Literally any time I would turn on the TV, which albeit wasn't that often, but anytime I would turn on the TV at home, as soon as there was a commercial break, it was Visual Kei music videos, like advertisement for Visual Kei music videos and Visual Kei bands. Every single commercial break on every single channel, anytime I looked, daytime, nighttime, there's like TV ads for Visual Kei still running every single day in Japan. Then we got the billboards in Shibuya and Shinjuku and all the big districts, Ikebukuro. These billboards that are like 20 feet tall and like 30 feet wide. These all display either static images or videos of Visual Kei bands 24/7. And I didn't actually believe this until I saw it myself. But it's true. You might think as a gaijin that it's only gonna be like J-pop and like some J-rock bands. There's so much Visual Kei on these displays and on these giant billboards and giant displays all over Tokyo. Again, I've only been to Tokyo. I haven't really explored any other cities, but at least in Tokyo, man, VK ads are everywhere and they're huge. Granted, it's obviously not the same bands as back in my day when I was like the most into like VK, I guess 10 years ago. So I didn't see any of the old good bands from my childhood like Ancafe or IAB. But I went to Tower Records, which for those who don't know is a huge CD store. It's actually a brand of CD stores, but I went to the one in Shibuya, which I believe is one of the biggest ones. It's like 8 floors tall with escalators, and every floor is extremely big. Any single floor of Tower Records Shibuya is way larger than any single CD shop I've ever been to in my life. Every floor is basically like a supermarket. It's big. One of the floors is a Visual Kei floor. And it's so much stuff. In fact, the day I went there, Kodomo Dragon were there and having a meet and greet, and the lines went through all the aisles all the way up to the escalator, and it was hard to get around there. I tried to get to some of the CDs. I wanted to check out like Meiji Bray and Vashai and Demon Kaka Seikimatsu. It was tough. It was tough to get by because there was so many people just waiting in line to take their photo with Kodomo Dragon, a band who I had never heard of, but who were apparently extremely popular, way more so than I would have guessed. So that was really enlightening and really refreshing to see. Made me very happy. There is such a culture for Visual Kei even now in the spring of 2017. And again, I don't know how it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, probably way bigger. But I'm saying it is absolutely not it. It is alive and thriving there. When me and my band Batara did our Japan tour last summer, I was kind of blown away. Granted, we didn't play at the biggest venues in Tokyo by any stretch of the imagination, but we pretty much filled up every single venue, each gig. Each live show were between 2 and like 7 bands. Some nights there were a lot of bands, and all of these bands were Visual Kei. I've never heard of 95% of them, and most of them were probably indie and kind of small. They were all so good, and they all had so much merch and so many dedicated fans going out and about who also discovered us and were like, oh, cool, Visual Kei from outside Japan. We want to see more of that, yeah. Again, Visual Kei is not the biggest thing in Japan. It's way smaller than J-pop or like normal rock. But it is there, and they are very happy to see Visual Kei still happening outside of Japan. Granted, most people I spoke with didn't know that many Western Visual Kei people at all. Most of them knew about us and Yohyo. I guess my point of this video is just to say, people say Visual Kei is dead in Japan. That is absolutely not true at all. It might not be as big as it was a few years ago, but I wasn't in Japan a few years ago. I just went there now, and I was blown away by how big it appeared to me. And that made me very happy and very confused, because Visual Kei is so very dead here in the Western world, especially Europe, but even more so I've been told in the US. But then again, I was told it was dead in Japan as well, so I don't know. I guess my point is, as I said in the last video, I don't want to see Visual Kei go. And sadly, I don't see that many new bands coming, although I have been hearing and seeing and being contacted by more bands since making the last video than I ever was before. So thank you all for that. Now, if you are a Visual Kei fan, or some kind of a Visual Kei or a J-rock in general fan who wants to do something like open a store or whatever, whatever your interest may be, if you're planning to do something business-wise or just start a band related to Visual Kei, please leave a comment and drop me a message here on YouTube, or send me a tweet on Twitter, obviously at Endigo Skyborn, or Instagram, or just get in touch. I wanna talk to you guys. I love Visual Kei, and I wanna see it thrive, and I hope you guys do as well. So thanks so much for watching this. Feel free to send this video to a friend who's also into VK. Check out my last video as well, Save Visual Kei. It's kind of the same topic, but a lot has happened since then, obviously. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, make sure to leave a like on this video, leave a comment, tell me what you think about Visual Kei in the Western world. Let me know what your experience with Visual Kei in and outside of Japan is, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, before I leave, I want to mention I'm going to be doing another Ask Endigo kind of soon, the first one of this entire year, my Q&A videos. So if you have any questions and you want to get featured in the video, send me your questions on Twitter or Instagram. I will find it. Just use hashtag Ask Endigo and I will find it. Until next time, peace!
everybody, I'm making a return.